Alderman Ashby, you wanna get to your position and lead us in prayer, please, sir.
Dear Heavenly Father, we're just so thankful, Lord, for your many blessings. We thank you for the world that we live in, Lord, the freedoms that we have. We just ask that you would be with us tonight, Lord. Just keep us united as a city. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Alderman Dore, you want to lead us in the pledge, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag
To the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, let's see. Public Works, Alderman Dore.
Thank you, Mayor. I will open Public Works now and let it show that a quorum is present. First, we hear from Public Works Director Albert John. Albert, while it's still on my mind,
Good afternoon.
Albert, while it's still on my mind, could you, I don't know the status on the poles that you had to change on I-10, the
Yes.
light pole, where are we?
It's still in the process. I've had the contractor come, called another contractor to check the pole that's at the barn. They have not been back.
Okay,
He's supposed to come back, measure the length of the pole and the arm, and he wasn't showing up, so I called another local contractor who was supposed to come by, and he hasn't gotten by yet.
okay,
So
thank you.
that is where that stands.
Okay.
I will contact them both again tomorrow, but I don't know.
Hard to get people to do their work.
You know, E.P. Bro does all this work all over town. I mean, all over the state, you know, so it's hard. He's been coming when he's on the way to a job in Lake Charles and coming back, you know, and I can't get him pinned down, you know. Hopefully I can find something out tomorrow, but.
EP Bro is the company that actually installed them.
Yes,
right?
they are the company, they are the contractor that actually installed them. And the price of a new pole, I think I mentioned that to you
Right.
several months ago, way above $10,000, which they used to be a lot less. That's just for the pole. We had a knockdown in December of 19, where one got knocked down, but it didn't bend the pole. It ran like 30-something $100. So it's actually, he said he couldn't believe the price was $13,000 just for the pole, not the arm, not the fixture, not the base. So that's where that stands as of right now.
Thank you.
Since I've been here, we've gotten a new mechanic, trying to get caught up. He's been there a little over 5 weeks. We had a couple of big pieces of equipment down over the last 6 to 8 weeks. We had the boom mower was down. They actually had to fabricate a boom, one of the boom pieces for it. That's back in service. We had the street sweeper went down. We got it back. It went down again. So I just got back 35 minutes ago from Lake Charles. We put it back together yesterday. I had to change the radiator. Well, it's defective. So they warrantied it. So I took it over there this afternoon late. There's one on order. So hopefully we'll have that in Monday or Tuesday, because they did have it in stock at Elgin. So hopefully by the middle of next week, the sweeper is back up. I know it could have been used today. From what I've seen with the rice spill, it was quite a bit of rice for a long, long distance. Everything else, everything else is running. It's running right now, knock on wood.
Albert, in reference to the mechanic, he's been working diligently. You know, most of our city's fleet is aged. I keep expressing the word aged because it's not aging, it's aged. Most of these trucks are, what's the year model on most of, like Public Works and?
Public Works and Street, the average age of a vehicle is 20 years old.
And
We're still running 2002. The latest we have is the new dump truck, which is about 2019, 2018. We have a bucket truck that was bought secondhand from Clico. That's usually where they come from. That was like 2012. Then we have two new pickup trucks. I say new, 2016. Everything else is 26. The vehicles that haul the mosquito control sprayers, those are 2003s. But they're low mileage. We maintain them as best we can. I know that vehicles have been asked for in the past, and there's never any money, you know.
Yeah, there's so the mechanic shop is quite busy.
Yeah.
A lot of these trucks are running hot. You know, they have you know, lots of problems. Animal control had 0 trucks available yesterday, and so they got them up and running today with 1 truck, and they're working on the second one. And then in between all of that stuff, the police department has 20 junk vehicles also.
I have over 30 vehicles. I counted them today.
30, okay. So the police department frequents the mechanic shop on a daily basis with multiple vehicles. Many of it is oil changes because they keep up with the oil changes, and that's good. But, you know, there's air conditioner issues, there's you know, running hot issues, brake jobs, front ends, just tons and tons of things. But I mean, you know, these vehicles are old, and so I actually have a meeting tomorrow at 2 with Enterprise in hopes to see if there's some kind of leeway we can make with a fleet, some kind of fleet deal. So I know other cities. We were at the LMA convention, and multiple city mayors in there were talking about they were successful with those programs. So we'll see what's what. But a lot of these trucks are dead.
Getting to the other departments, I know wastewater, Tim, I don't know your average age on your vehicles, but, but there's really, no department has really gotten to buy any new equipment in a number of years. So that's where this problem's running in. Going over some records yesterday and today, you'll get a year where you'll put $1,000 in a vehicle, no vehicle. The next year you may not put $200 in it, you know, and then all of a sudden it develops again. So it's just a cycle. It's just a continuous cycle. So, other thing, mosquito control. We are still spraying the city once a week. Hopefully we avoid any storms. That'll be the big thing. We get a hurricane come in here, and most of you have been through it before. You know how they just all of a sudden they hear. They get blown in, and it takes around 8 days really to knock them down. That's us spraying every night when that happens. And then hopefully we have no storms at all. If we do and they're bad, you know, the government will come in and spray, do some aerial spraying. But they're not bad right now. It's dry. It's almost like it was last year now in the summer, just hot and dry. And they're not showing actually anything. I look at the weather every day, several times. They're saying we're good for 2 to 3 weeks as far as storm-wise. This storm that's out there now, they're talking about going up the East Coast in the Atlantic. So we're fortunate with that. But if it happens, we'll know it and we'll be out there every night. Any questions?
Albert, regarding the light at the exit 82, do we know how it was damaged? Was it hit by an 18-wheeler that was parked there?
No, I got a phone call. Matter of fact, the street commissioner and street foreman had gone somewhere and came back and saw it knocked down. That's when they called me. And then when I spoke with the mayor, I think the mayor actually saw it before that. So we have
no report on how.
we have no report.
I was just curious if the pole maybe is too close to the edge of the shoulder, if it could be moved back a little bit, if that's a problem area.
What happened with the eastbound exit pole that got knocked down? 18-wheelers like to pull over.
Right.
And with those big bumpers, because they're not really hard to knock over. They're built to break away.
Right.
You know, it's just this one got hit a little harder. It's got a dent in it. And I spoke with the contractor about that. Why can't we just go up with the same pole? Well, you don't want to do that for liability purposes. You know, I can't tell you that it's okay for you guys to put that pole back up there like that.
Sure. Yeah, I was just wondering if it could be placed further away from the edge, just to
Ah,
protect some buffer.
Tim, I think is familiar with that project, weren't you? You know, that's, I don't know, I can't answer that.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
It's all underground.
That'd be a lot of work, and then you gotta get permits, don't you, from the state to do any kind of work on that? I know when we talked about changing some lighting one time, when I called Opelousas, they had to go through all kinds of stuff, process, and being permitted again through the state to get that done. They wouldn't approve it, and it took all kinds of, I mean, it's not just something you just go and do.
No, I understand, just trying to avoid it from happening again.
It's yeah.
Thank you.
Anyway,
And I'm happy to report the broken equipment has not been my fault. We have employees that have been operating and been doing very good job on these pieces of equipment. I'm also happy that the police chief isn't here this evening because they probably have an arrest warrant out for me because they were looking for the battery jump pack all day today. And it was in my unit because I jump-started the excavator at the pavilion project yesterday evening.
and I got a phone call just minutes before I was going to call you to tell you I may have to replace it because it disappeared. And then I got the phone call. We found it, Mr. Albert. We found it. I'm sure you let me know as soon as I told him I was going to tell you, hey, I think we have to replace the jump box. So.
Any more questions for Albert? If not, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, next we hear from our city engineer, Tim Mater.
Thank you, Jeff. If you all have a copy of my report in front of you, I have one action item in Public Works. It is on page 2. I handed out a duplicate of what Tessa put in front of you. It looks like this, and I would suggest you maybe look at the one I handed out because the tabulation is on a legal size. It's a little bit bigger, a little bit easier to read. But what I put in front was, I guess, the most interesting part of something otherwise very mundane is what the prices look like when you look past the last 5 or 10 years. How have those prices changed? And if you're looking at, again, first page is the proposal number 1. Proposal number 1 is surface course aggregates. That's limestone. we tracked one of the gradations, and it did jump up from 49.95 to 50.95. Not a great jump, but on the increase. Then the rest of the proposals, two, you can see it's level at 145. This is coal mix asphalt, crack routing, cleaning, sealing. Not something that we not likely to use in this 6-month contract. We took bids on it, but we just did citywide crack treatment. But you can see those prices went up a little bit, not as high as they were about 2 years ago. And then proposal 4 is concrete pipe. It declined a little bit. I ordinarily just show you the 15 and 18-inch sizes because those are the most common that you need. And we went from 30 to 27 on the 18, and we went from 27 to 24 on the 15. Rib PVC is proposal 5. It stayed pretty close to the same. Proposal 6 is Portland cement concrete and flowable fill. And those are fairly level, 150 to 149 and 134 to 133. We haven't been able to get a bid on hot mix for a couple of years now. The plants just don't want to fool with the small quantities that we may need, so they don't take any time to bid on it. And then the last one is your labor and equipment, which is showing how we've re-upped those by change order. We're in change order number 6, and it's still $1,700 a day. And again, if you look at the legal size, what I have highlighted would be the awards. So in the engineer's report, when it says award contracts for fiscal year 2024, 2025 material purchases for the period of September 1 through February 28, in accordance with the city engineer's bid tabulation and its recommendations, it means what is presented in this chart, and it's color-coded as that's our recommendation. Any questions on that? Then I would entertain a motion to
So moved.
award contracts.
Second.
So moved.
We have a second by Brad. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion.
Okay, everything else is updates on things that have progressed, if any, but no more action items, and that concludes my report for Public Works.
Next, we're going to hear from our street commissioner, Mr. Wesley Jacob.
Hello, how y'all doing?
Doing fine.
I apologize for being a little late. I was playing like Superman and I just come off the practice field. Start out by saying we're just starting to get caught up from the rain. All that rain we had, we fell behind on grass, and it's been really beating us up pretty bad. Now that we're starting to get some of the equipment back, Sidewinder, side boom tractor is back. The tractor for the interstate is back. Excavators out of the shop. Skidder's back. So everything, cross your fingers, is back. We got our big bucket truck back. So now we can cut some of the taller tree branches. So cross your fingers, your toes, and everything else to help us out. As far as work orders go, we did 66 work orders this month. We cut down another 61 trees. We've been really concentrating on anything, especially the pine trees on side of the road that appears to be dead. Preparing for these storms, we're just trying to be proactive and just cut as many down as we can and get them off the road and off the power lines. But it's thousands and thousands of them, so I don't know if we'll ever get caught up, but we're trying, putting in the effort. Like I said, the excavator was down, so we fell behind as far as digging, but we finally got it fixed. There was a bad squeak in it, and we knew it was something that was going on, so we finally just sent it to the shop, and come to find out it had a bad bushing on the part, so we got it changed, so now everything is going good. So we're back digging. We finished the job up on Cherokee finally. We poured the catch basin, so they're about to pour the concrete on the top. So we finished there. Now we're going to Broad Acres, finish up over there, and then we'll go back up into the north and then start going around again. We had one accident. One of my guys was trimming weed eating, and something flew in his eye. And then we found out something that we didn't know. We don't actually have an eye doctor in town that takes our workman's comp, so that was a little bit of a problem. So we had wound up going to Lafayette to the emergency room, so we got him taken care of. And the only upcoming, it was upcoming where we got it complete. The mayor had us go out and remove the fence at the graveyard. They finna put a new fence in, so we got that. All the trees that was growing into that fence line, we done got all that cut down, pulled up, cleaned out, hauled off. So that area should look a little better. They did have quite a few snakes coming out of that, so I know that's gonna be a relief once it's all cleaned up. I've been saying it for some months now, so y'all talked about it earlier about the trucks and everything. On my needs, I said truck, and I actually put in for one on my next year's budget. But as of today, I got 3 down. So like the mayor said, I'll let him handle that and see what we can do for the future. But everything is starting to fall apart, and it's almost costing us more fixing it than just getting rid of it and getting some more. So I'll let y'all handle that. Other than that, if y'all have any questions, comments?
How many trucks do you have in your department?
8 pickup trucks.
3, and 3 of them are down?
Yes.
What do y'all pull y'all equipment with?
Right now, the F-350 we got from fire department, we pull the excavator with, and I volunteer my F-250 to pull the skidder when we need it, but the regular trucks pull the lawnmowers and stuff around. We had the bucket truck hooked to the excavator pulling it, but the bumper is about to fall off of it, so that's why I just use my truck. I can't afford for anything else to go down right now.
Okay, so we don't have a truck to pull the skidder and one to pull the...
Correct.
Okay.
I have a question. In regards to the employee with the eye injury, was he wearing protective eyewear?
Yes.
And do they all wear that
Yes.
when they're doing it? And what happened? It just got
Like
past?
the debris hits trees, hits concrete, bounces back, it flies all over. It's just one of those things that just comes with the territory. That was the first question I had. Did you have your glasses on? And it was yes. So, but I actually went to LAI when I found that out and worked out a deal with them to where in case of an emergency, and I spoke to the mayor about it already, they're gonna allow us to bring it over there and bill us. But that's the only thing we can do.
Okay, how's the employee doing?
He's good.
He's good?
Yes.
Resolved?
He came back to work. I just put him on light duty for a few days
Yeah.
because it had some swelling in it, but he's back normal.
He's good? Okay, great, thanks.
And one thing I forgot to say, I'd like y'all to just say a prayer. One of my operator, his mother passed away this week, so he's out right now. Quentin East, one of the team members, that's who does most of the digging, and the team is starting to come together, believe it or not. We're starting to make a little progress, starting to get a good little mix. So we're just gonna keep chugging at it. Any other questions?
Thank you for all you do, Wes.
Step.
Look, from what you're saying, y'all have to excuse me, like those who don't know, I had a problem where I got my jaw broken and implant, and I'm catching hell with that. I think I talk better without it in, but anyway. Some say I sound crazy anyway, but anyway. Wes, from what you're sounding like, you're getting your crew together, but your transportation is breaking down. Is that a good way of putting it? Well, I don't know the last time we bought a fleet for the Public Works. I don't know if we did or we was using hand-me-downs or what. But right now, we just had a pretty good meeting with Lamatz, which, for the record and transparency, I serve on the executive board. There's money for that. So if the city wants to borrow money for a fleet, they can turnkey it, Mayor. I'm pretty sure. Talk to Cliff Palmer. He'll be glad to come down and get everything. They even finance. So it's a turnkey job. And the good part about it, you won't have to worry about going through state contract, because some of them, they can piggyback off one and the other. So that might be something we might want to look into. That should keep you floating right there. But before we do anything or go talk to anybody, I would say let Lamat handle it. Go through that.
I'm unfamiliar. I mean, I don't know all the ins and outs about the government and the spending, so
Okay.
I have to lean on the mayor. I have to lean on the clerk. I have to ask questions, and that's Albert. They all familiar with stuff like that.
Right.
Look, we're close to having a budget. I know it's been years and years and years you've been fighting. So for me, I'm going to just keep band-aiding it until somebody
Right.
says we can get something. But the job got to get done. The grass don't stop growing. The trees don't stop growing. People don't stop throwing stuff on the side of the road.
Right.
If I got to go get a horse and buggy, I'm going to get a horse and buggy.
I understand that, but at the end of the day,
I understand it's not going to happen overnight. It's a
well, it may
whole-
not happen overnight, but we hopefully can have it within a week or two to get things rolling. I mean, you got to start somewhere.
Well,
You know, make
I'm not
we used to
gonna
say
turn it
make your
down,
wish
but-
list. Tim, y'all know when I used to tell y'all make your wish list.
Oh, I got a wish list.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Well,
got
I
a
mean,
wish list.
That he
Christmas
has.
coming, buddy. Make it.
That he has.
Find out about all these. Try our best. We have some complaints. But I also get some correspondence in the mail from the citizens, just saying thank you, we appreciate it, we see the difference, and that's enough for me right now.
Right.
But there is something on the other side of it. There is people that is small-minded and thinking about, well, they don't do anything. It's like, it's plenty of stuff to do. We had a trail of rice from Donut Queen all the way to 6th Street, all the way to Western, all the way to the mill, and who had to clean it up? Us. We had to stop what we was doing,
Right.
you know, go get some equipment. Hey, that skidder paying off. The street sweeper down, I got the broom, and we just keep on plugging at it. So
All right.
if y'all want to work, I want to work. I know the mayor is out there working. He done went from breaking stuff to stealing stuff, but hey, it is what it is. We're a lot alike, so I'm surprised we hadn't bumped heads, because he's just focused on going to do it, and I'm the same way, and he fusses at me about having my truck over there like Chuck was. Look, I ain't worried about it. We gotta get it done, and I'm just trusting in y'all. Y'all finally y'all got some chemistry right here. I'm gonna tell you what I need, you give me what I need, and I'm gonna get it done. That's the best way I can explain it to you.
Well, that's our job to lead you right, and that's why I'm giving you the information that I have. So I hope that helps you out. All right, thank you, man.
Thank you, Step. Thank you very much, Wesley. And with nothing else to come before us, I will close.
Thank you, sir. Let's see, who's next?
Utilities.
Utility. Alderman Martin, please, sir.
Okay, Utility Committee, we do have a quorum. Let's see, first up is Tim Crater, wastewater superintendent, with his report.
Good afternoon. Unlike Wesley, we can't use horse and buggy because that would be adding to the problem. But anyway, we had 110 Louisiana one-call locate requests during the month of July. We had 17 work orders filed, only 4 calls after hours that were recorded. During the month of July, we pulled pumps at the 8th Street pump station. They were clogged. We had to change out a level control board there, a operating control board in that station. It's up and running. Oddfellows Pump Station was cleared of the clog one day. Fortunately, the rain events we had during July didn't affect the system drastically. We received the 75 horse pump that we ordered back in the first week of June that arrived Thursday. We plan on getting that installed at the Magnolia Pump Station Monday. We also received a backup pump that can be used at Capitol, Gray Lawn, or Standard Mill, and in the event of an emergency at Little Golf Pump Station that came in today. That was ordered beginning of July. So you can see sometime we get them quick, sometime they're a period of time. I'm in the beginning of stages of looking at the pavilion. Recently, when I went to Shreveport, went and visited the Red River treatment plant in Bossier City to look at their after they installed the DUV system like we have now. They came in and put a pavilion over it to keep it out of the weather. Speaking with their superintendent there, they have seen where with the heat directly on the PDC, which is one of the control boards at the top, it builds up condensation. It shorts out the little control boards in there. It also keeps the weather, the rain and everything from penetrating those units. They are above ground. So I'm just starting that process of getting the pavilion, getting that section of the plant covered, that bank. Other than that, I want to thank Wesley and them. We called him the Capitol Pump Station, which is to the south of Capitol Manufacturing, had some trees overgrowing the communication tower there. We got working together with Capitol. They unlocked a gate where we could trim up everything, where we have better communication through our SCADA system there. Appreciate that. Other than that, I want to thank my staff, like Wesley and the Public Works guys, Recreation. The heat is not playing. I think we're on our 10th day of 90-degree plus, and then you add the heat index on top of that, it's 104, 105. But I just wanted to thank my guys for being out there doing what they do. But other than that, that's all I have, if y'all have any questions.
Tim, how many, what's your personnel look like right now?
Vehicle-wise, I recently was able to purchase 3 new trucks. I do have 2 O2s. I have an 03. I have a 1993 dump truck that is probably on its last leg. It's going to cost me more for 2 tires that I'll probably have to pay than what the truck I'll get at auction, but we make do with what we have.
Right.
As far as we have one in the shop that the evaporator core went out. It's a 15. We have one that's a box truck that's been there. I couldn't even tell you the year. You might know. I know it was a hand down. We use it as our diesel truck and a vehicle to go to and from. The brakes are out on it, so they're getting a brake job done on that. Our Gator, recently, after meeting with the city clerk, we were able to put some funding in to purchase a new Gator or little UTV. Ours is, the wheels are at an angle now that in 2013 flood, they used it to carry sacks of cement to the levee.
Right.
And we just kind of been keeping it up since then. We are going to attempt to purchase a new zero-turn mower for the plant and the lift stations that's been put into the upcoming budget as well.
Okay. All right, any other questions for Tim?
Just want to say thanks for coming to Shreveport, Bossier, LA. Thanks for going to the plant and getting great resources for us and taking your time to do that. Really.
Thank you. Might add that their plant there is a mechanical plant.
Yeah, it is.
And it's a pretty big spread out facility. I did ask the gentleman, when I first drove in, there was a big box sitting on the driveway, and it's probably half the size of this room. And he said, that's their generator power. So it's the size of an 18-wheeler trailer, put it in perspective. So it was pretty interesting to visit their facility.
Right. Well, I tell you what,
Thank you.
Tim, if you really want to see a hell of a sewer-type plant, go to Slidell.
Slidell?
Go to Slidell. I happened, matter of fact, that was, oh man, that was back when Woody, I forgot who was plant supervisor then, but they had state of the art. So if you ever get a chance, you're heading down 20 or whatever, 12, whatever it is, stop by and look at it. It's
Do
something.
that. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, next, city engineer, Tim Mader.
Yeah, thanks, Deb. I might ask Tim to stay up and talk about items 1 and 2 on the agenda. I think he's going to be the one to explain most of that.
Tim, you want to?
Mr. Creeder?
Want to talk about the salvaging the UV? It's item 1 and 2 on the agenda.
Okay. The old UV system, it's a UV 3000. We removed it recently to put in the UV 3000 plus. The existing system that was in line, the PDCs, which is pretty much the master control, those were in operation that we were able to tell. We have 40 existing modules that were in the chamber with their banks, with their racks, along with the water level controller. Give or take, there's probably 60% to 80% of those units are in operation or can be repaired to put them in operation. I believe in the city of Rain, I spoke with their superintendent, Brett Alamont, and he was inquiring about our system when we were upgrading. They would be able to use our stuff, it's basically a plug and play. Now, they'll have to change bulbs and things like that. But we do have items in our inventory that are brand new that we cannot use. They're not interchangeable parts with the new system. But those parts are no longer, you can't get them anymore. So when we found that out, prior to us knowing we were getting a new system, we bought those parts so we can repair and keep our system going as long as we could. And now it's needed by a fellow town, right next door. So, I mean, that was one of the things there when we talked about surplus. It's really of no value to us at the moment.
So you want to do an MOU with the city of Rain and see can we, well, they would take responsibility of it, correct?
Yes, they would, I would think they would pick it up. Item 2, I think, is the authorize the mayor to meet with their mayor to
Wait, you have to take one. We got to vote on one first.
He's just explaining to you what they're about, and then
Okay.
we'll go
Yeah.
from one to the other.
Because the equipment that we have, the newer parts, we have parts that are still in wrapper. And I furnished the list to the mayor with value, what we purchased them for 6, 7 years ago. That's what 40 banks, 3 PDCs, the racks, the modules are what fits in. Those still have the bulbs still attached. They'll either do a lot of scrubbing or they'll have to change them out. They'll have to check them because some of the wiring is not up to code.
But they would take as is.
Yes.
Okay, okay. That's fine.
Are
Any,
all those bulbs presently working?
No. Not probably 60%.
So what we would need council to do is declare the equipment and supplies as surplus, number one.
All right, it was offered. It was offered by Ms. Mark, second by Jeff, that we approve wastewater superintendent facility recent removal and abandon ultraviolet disinfectant system equipment and look at it as being surplus. Is that what you want, Jim?
Yes, that's
Okay.
it.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
And now that that's done, you would need to authorize the mayor to enter into a cooperative endeavor agreement with the city of Rain, who is the nearest city interested in it.
Offered. All right, it was offered by myself and second by Jeff to authorize the mayor to enter into a CEA and with the city of Rain to convey the ultraviolet disinfectant system equipment and supplies to the city of Rain. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, my items that are in my report are going to coincide with items 3, 4, and 5, 6, and 7.
You want separate motions or you just,
Separate, yeah.
okay.
If you turn to my report on page 13, this is related to what we just presented. This is the new ultraviolet disinfection system, and the project is complete. The final inspection was held, so now would be in order to do three things. One, to approve, well, two things. I'm going to explain why. Number one, approve partial payment estimate number 5 to Volute in the amount of $70,225.05.
That's what you need?
That's what I need, first of all,
All right,
yes.
well, I'm going to offer that as read.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
Item 2, I'm going to withdraw it because a change order is not needed. There were no changes in the original quantities, and the project was completed within the contract time that was allotted. So we can skip item 2. We don't need to take any action on that. Item 3 is approve the resolution of termination for the construction contract, and you should have in your packets the resolution of termination, kind of looks like this. And in that packet is the resolution, the notice of termination, and then the final inspection.
Tim, before you go any further, you had mentioned item 2. I mean, we are on item 4 and 5.
Yeah, I'm reading from my engineer's
Yeah.
report.
His,
okay,
his
well, just-
second item, it should be item 4 he's talking on.
Okay, okay, clarification, thank you.
Sorry?
I'm sorry, yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, again, I'm confusing you, and I'm sorry for that, because I'm reading from my engineer's report, and they're not numbered exactly the same.
so you're on 5 now for the record.
I'm on the resolution of termination, which is item 5.
Item
the
5
agenda.
on the agenda, yes.
Gotcha.
And that is going to be a resolution of termination, which carries with it a notice of termination and the final inspection with the punch list. And the punch list shows 8 items totaling about $3,000, and that is factored into the final payment that you just approved.
Offered as read.
Second.
Was offered in second. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
Next item is on that same page 13 on my report. Hopefully, I won't confuse you with numbers. Phase 1 of an ARPA-funded project, which is to renovate the existing duckweed pond with modular insulated cover, fancy term for we're replacing limna, which is held in a grid, and limna is a plant. It's a natural part of the system, but the grid is breaking down. It's plastic. It's 25, 30 years old. So we need to replace the grid, but these days, the technology is getting away from duckweed, and it's now getting into a plastic cover that's in a grid as well. So y'all had authorized the preparation of plans and specifications. We finished the plans and specifications. You have a copy of the specifications, but not the plans. But I emailed you each a copy of both, and it's gonna look like this. So these are the plans and specs. Project is estimated somewhere between $1.5 and $1.7 million as a construction contract. And so what I ask you to do is approve these plans at your meeting next Tuesday and authorize the advertisement for bids in one motion.
You don't need it tonight?
I need that to be approved tonight, so it will be, it'll
Offer
go.
this read.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
All right, next item for action is on page 14, and that is the LCDBG fiscal year 2021 rehabilitation of the sewage collection system project. On page 15, I have a partial payment number 18. And I would ask that you consider approving partial payment estimate number 18 to NCMC LLC for that project in the amount of $8,170.
Offered.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
And I've spent enough of your money, that's it.
Thank you for not making me read that, Tim. Okay, now we have no discussion items. There's nothing else before us, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Morton. Let's see, Recreation, Alderman Ashby, please.
Recreation Committee comes to order. We have a quorum present. First, I'd like to thank each of the department heads for the way y'all work together. I mean, it says a lot about the direction that our city is going in when you thank each other, and maybe if our citizens see us act that way, it'll slowly work its way down to the citizens of Crowley. So thank y'all for all that y'all do. I'm going to call up the Recreation Director, Zach Duyon.
Good evening, everyone. Kind of to piggyback off of what Chuck just said, over the last 3 months that I've been department head for the rec, every single one of these guys has welcomed me with open arms, and never a stupid question kind of thing, being able to call on them for advice and whatnot. So it is a great feeling, like you said, moving forward for the sake of the city. First and foremost, Mr. Michael Thomas started back with us last week, which has been a huge blessing. I know he was hospitalized for quite a while. He is a great asset to our department and to the city as well. So very, very happy to have him back. With the Rice Festival building on Tuesdays and Thursday evenings until 8 p.m. It is open for pickleball. We have 3 courts right now, and in the near future, in the next 2 or 3 weeks, we'll have 4 courts for people to play indoors in the AC, like I said, until 8 p.m., again on Tuesdays and Thursdays. At the MLK Center, we've finished renovations for the lighting in the lobby, in the recreation room, in the office, and in the restrooms and the conference rooms. If y'all haven't had a chance to go stop by, go take a look. It is much brighter. It's less bulky. It's got a nice new look. And then the gym lights on the walls will be replaced starting next week. And then we have some repairs going on with the bathrooms on the outside as well. At the rec, we are going to be, today was the last day, we're going to be beginning soccer and flag football practices next week. We had 137 athletes sign up for flag football and 192 sign up for soccer. And then we'll have tennis. Our tennis league registration begins tomorrow and ends on September 11th. And then as far as our parks go, we're continuing to clean the playground beds and any kind of maintenance and repairs. We've replaced faulty swings. I think there were 11 swings citywide that we've replaced, chains that were faulty. anything like that. And then we have parts on order to replace a deck specifically at Meyer Park. That should be in next week, and then we'll be able to replace it. So if anybody comes to you with concerns or questions or any faulty equipment, please give me a call. We're working on that. We've gone and evaluated all the parks, and to our eyes, to our knowledge, everything else is good. But if there is something that's brought to you, I urge you to please let me know, because if we don't know about it, we can't fix it. And thank you, Mr. Brad, for giving us a call. I know most of the stuff goes on Facebook. That's how we find out about it. But it is, we take pride in taking care of things as soon as we can so that the citizens can enjoy it. I think that's everything I have. If nobody has any questions. Yes, sir. So that should be
This week.
Yes. This week it should be being replaced.
They should start tearing out the old this week. The system to the right of the stage is going to be replaced. In 2019, the system to the left of the stage was already replaced. During the backpack thing, it was misbehaving again, I guess you would say. It was not working again. And he called me yesterday. I think it was yesterday he called me and told me that the outside unit was really dirty, and that was tripping the switch of some sorts in the system, causing it to overheat or whatever. So they cleaned out the system real good, and it should be good to go. But that system should be working. That was replaced in 2019. The one, when you're looking at the stage, the one to the left of the stage, and then we're replacing the whole system to the right of the stage, and that should start this week. That's what they told me this week.
One thing I hope that y'all look into that building is that during the night when that building is running and the lights out and the AC units on, it's like a hurricane. They can't control it. You get balloons flying off tables over there. So I'm hoping that this time they have some type of low, medium, and high switch they can put on.
Yes, sir.
Can you put it on?
Yeah, that's a central unit. My unit at home don't have a high, low, or medium fan speed. When the fan's blowing, it's blowing. And they're very large units to be able to produce enough cold air. And so you have to move a lot of air to produce that much cold air. There's no way for us to turn the fan speed down on that. Yeah, I don't. Okay, I'll talk to them and see. Yeah. We may be able to redirect those vents, and because right now they're pointing kind of down. Maybe we can redirect them to go straight across the ceiling, so that they're not blowing, down on the floor. Sure.
I mean, even the night that we had the function over at Rice Festival, when Ariel was there.
Yeah. Those units blow a lot of air. They move in a lot of air.
Let's find a way to do this. Let's keep people from freezing. All right, thank you.
Sure. Yes, ma'am.
So Zach and the mayor, I want to thank you for making the pickleball courts available through the evening. And it's awesome that people can play in air conditioning. And I know Chuck spoke with you, words getting around throughout the area that we're doing that. So I appreciate you kind of keeping tabs on that. I have a number of constituents that play pickleball, and so I know you're taking care of them and making sure that they're not having to wait while the out-of-towners are on the court.
Yes, ma'am.
And I know, talking to other communities and how they handle that and whether there's a charge, or you always want to be hospitable, but we
Sure.
want to make sure we're taking care of our citizens. So thank you for doing that.
Absolutely.
Put your microphone on, Mr. Martin, please.
You plan on having pickleball at the MLK after basketball?
If that's something that, if there's a demand for it, then we can make sure that happens, yes.
Well, I mean, if they're waiting to play at one facility and you got another facility, why not open it?
Well, and every time that I've been there, we haven't had courts overflowing. We
Well,
have.
no, I'm just asking.
Yes, sir. No, and I'm just answering your question. We've only had 3 courts at one time that have been full. That, you know, and now that we extended into the evenings, a lot of people come. They prefer to come after work, you know, or if they're retired or whatever the situation may be, they'll come during the day. But certainly, if there is a demand where we start to see 3 or 4 groups that are waiting, and we can expand it and put 2 or 3 more courts, then sure.
Yeah, because I know at one time we used to have volleyball and a few other things going on.
Yes, and
you
there
know,
is.
between the-
And there is, they do have inserts for volleyball, you know, and then there's something else that I spoke with the mayor about, and I spoke with Chuck about, spoke to, you know, Dr. Proctor and Shane as well, about the baseball field on the backside of MLK. All of the chain link fence was overgrown, the dugouts you couldn't even walk into. We took care of all that last week. I spoke with Shane and Dr. Proctor about the possibility of, I said, you know, were there any activities or events that were held? Talked about an adult kickball league that was on Sundays a couple of years ago, you know, hoping to try to bring that back, because we have a beautiful facility and the backside of it has been cleaned up tremendously. And, you know, I think that needs to be something that needs to be utilized.
Well,
Yeah.
and at one time we had lights out there. That's
Yes,
the problem that
yes.
Right. So since then, if you haven't noticed, the lighting at MLK, I had Clico go in and change out all of the street lights for 1,000-watt floodlights. And if you haven't been there at night, go check it out at night. The entire field and everything is lit up. I did have them, I was able to get them to put 2 of those 1,000-watt floodlights shining onto the baseball field. So while it's not lit up like a normal baseball field, it is lit up on the baseball field. And I'm anxious to see if, you know, because, I mean, you don't want to stay out there all night playing anyway, but to play in the evening and, you know, into sunset a little bit, I think it will be enough lighting to be able to do that. And Zach and his crew has cleaned up the dugouts and the fence. It's looking really good out there.
Well, at one time we had lights out there, and I don't want to go back in time, but it was a promise that lights would be put back. And
Yeah,
they
I can remember probably 20 plus years ago as firefighters, we played in a softball tournament
Every
in
weekend.
Alexandria with other fire departments over there. And so we got us a team together here in Crowley, and we went to that park to behind Martin Luther King to practice. And then the lights didn't work. Then the field was grown over, so we actually cut it as firefighters. We cut the grass out there. Those lights haven't been working in many, many years. Clico wouldn't put the floodlights on any of those other poles that are out there for me. I asked them to. I was trying to put 6 of them around there, try to put some lights in a more affordable way. So it's been quite some time, but there is some lighting out there now. So I'm hopeful that that'll help in the event anybody wants to utilize it. As far as for the kickball stuff, though, that's already been offered numerous times. You know, if they want a league to get together, they own the fields that are turfed also with LED lighting, and the city will run the league, and they're welcome to play kickball. We can get a kickball league together, and everybody, that is Crowley's ballparks. That is for everybody in this city. And we'll run the kickball leagues too if they want to get a league together.
Okay, well, just the idea, because the lights were promised when we done the work at the Miller Field, and it didn't come to fruition. So, thank you.
Anybody else has any questions for Zach? If you hadn't been out there to look at the fields, my wife and I rode out there today. Y'all did a fantastic job. I would encourage anybody to go out there and look at it. Tremendous difference from what it looked like to what it is now. Thank you, Zach.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Thank y'all.
Next up, City Engineer Tim Mater. You never like to speak during my committee. I have nothing else. I'll rest.
Thank you, sir. Zoning annexation, Alderman Martin, please. Microphone.
Okay, we do have a quorum, and, only thing we have, the city engineer's report, Tim Mayor.
Yes, no action items, but I thought of interest on page 18 is an update on the Carmichael development on VFW Drive. I have a little update there for the sewage extension, the drainage improvements, and the intersection improvements at Parkerson and VFW Drive. Again, no action, just where we stand at this time.
Okay. Anything else to come before zoning annexation? We recess.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Let's see, Public Safety, Alderman Core, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to call to order the Public Safety Committee. All members are present except Sammy Reggie. And we'll begin with reports. Chief of Police Troy Hebert is absent, but he did give me his report to provide to the committee. During the month of July, there were 756 calls for service. Additionally, there were 73 criminal arrests, 678 TED violations by officers working traffic enforcement detail, and 77 traffic violations for a total number of citations issued during July amounting to 797. And that completes his report. Next, Fire Chief Luis Romero. I believe Chief is absent, and Mayor, did he give you a report?
No, he did not.
Okay. And next, we'll move to City Inspector Tony Duhan. I think he is also absent, and I did not get a report.
Tony was out today.
Okay.
He was out of the office today. He was sick.
All right, so we'll move on to action items. The first action item is to consider the following application for a 2024 Class A retail beer permit and a 2024 Class A retail liquor permit for Reggie's Downtown Crowley, in care of James A. Satchel Jr., location 218 North Parkinson Avenue, and I so move. Second. Motion is second, Alderman Dorey. Discussion. In your packet, we do have the application signed by Tony Duhan, the clerk, as well as the police chief. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries for consideration by next week's council. The next application is MM1 Mart Incorporated, Malik Abdullah, location 1764 North Parkinson Avenue, for a 2024 Class B package beer permit and a 2024 Class B package liquor permit. And I so move to approve this for consideration by the full council. Seconded by Alderman Dorey. Discussion.
That's the old Valero Shamrock. Well, not.
Yeah.
Most people won't remember the Shamrock, but
Yeah.
the old Valero.
Kind of corner from Pizza Hut, basically. And we do have the application signed by the clerk, the chief, and the city inspector. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Discussion items, Yuri Lewis would like to discuss the 18-wheeler parking ordinance. Is Mr. Lewis present?
He is not. He is not.
All right. Is any other business to come before the committee? Step. Sir?
That's not for this topic.
I think that was for public buildings.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yeah. I gave it to Alderman Wildridge. I'll put it on your desk, on your table. Okay, if there's no further business to come before the committee, we will close.
Thank you, sir. Public Buildings, Alderman Wildridge, please, sir.
Public buildings convened, we have a quorum on the action items to approve changing the name of the Dr. Martin Luther King Park to Dr. Martin Luther King / Bishop James W. Proctor Neighborhood Park, West 7th Street.
And Mr. Byron, we do have some speaker cards on that if we have some citizens that would like to speak on that topic. If y'all want to let them speak now.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Anthony Clement? Please push the green button. Thank you, sir.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Anthony Clement. I am the president of the City of Crowley African American Cultural Historical District. Our district runs from Avenue E to Western Avenue and from 2nd Street to 8th Street. All of that was approved by the City Council. We did not know anything about this name change. We were like a democratic process where the people on the west side could vote on whatever they want to do with that park. I never seen anything happen like this where y'all didn't discuss this with anybody in our district.
Yes, sir. Like I explained to your wife, that's what this meeting is for, for the people to voice their opinion. And if the cultural district goes to 8th Street, the park obviously would be considered in that cultural district, as she stated. But again, that's what this meeting is for. This allows you. That's why the agenda goes out with the topic on the agenda, and this allows for open conversation with the council members to voice their opinion, and that's the democratic process right here, live and in person. So that's it.
That's my opinion. I hope it don't happen because I was against it.
Can you elaborate on it just a little bit?
We have a lot of citizens that pass through Crowley. I was born and raised in Crowley. I'll be 70 years old. I went to Crowley High, graduated. I know most of these people because Crowley, it's an old town, but our generation know all the history. And it would hurt us to see it go down where we don't have a choice into what we need to do with outside of the city, especially if it's in our district. Anything that happened in the Martin Luther King Center back there that's not in our district, I would not be concerned. Some other people want to talk also. I want to give everybody time. Anybody have a question for me?
Mr. Dwight Poulard. Push the green button, please, sir. Push the green button on the... Yes, sir, thank you. Push it one more time. There you go.
I am Dwight Poulard. I have a concern. First of all, Dr. Proctor and his wife have been a great service to the West Crowley community. Dr. Proctor, Bishop Proctor, has been a great help to my family and to my church, and I can't say how much we appreciate the both of them. However, that park on 7th Street was named after Dr. Martin Luther King. I don't think that needs any more exploration on that. There may be some other way to honor Bishop Proctor. I don't think we should change the name from Dr. King in any sense, in any way. History is already being written in many of the states, especially down south. And this is one of the things that are happening with this history being rewritten. We're removing those people that are most important to us, not just as a black race, but to America as a whole. I don't think we should get rid of that name. Maybe we should find some other way to honor Bishop Proctor. There are other things in Crowley that we can do or place his name on other facilities that would honor him.
But I think to get rid of that name, Dr. Martin Luther King, in any sense, is an injustice. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Byron, if you don't mind, I'll let you all know, if you're wondering why it's on the agenda, the Proctors came and visited with me, and I told them that, and just because I'm an honest person, I told them that I was happy that they were not asking for us to rename a street. We have, and I spoke with Mr. Clement's wife on yesterday, and our history here in our city, we have a lot of our citizens who are gone. Some are still here with us, thankfully. But we have a lot of our black citizens who have paved the way for others. A lot of them have made decisions on this council. A lot of them have helped spiritually, and in many different ways for many years. We do have many of the streets in West Crowley that are named after some of our gone but not forgotten leaders, past leaders in our city. I'll tell you that I was asked early on in my term to rename one block of West 7th Street after a lady's father who served on the council. And I told her I wasn't in favor of that, because when we start naming a block here and there, even though it's the end of the road, then we cause troubles with not only the post office, but public safety and the ambulances. And those people don't live here, and so they have to find that one block of Chad Monso Lane or whatever the heck it's going to be called. And so naming the streets is tough. And when they asked for the park, it's in their neighborhood, and they asked for the park, and I said, well, we wouldn't want to change the name of the park. And they said, oh no, we don't want to take away Dr. King's name from the park, but we would maybe like to add Bishop Proctor to it. And that's where it came to be the suggestion for the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. / Bishop James W. Proctor Neighborhood Park. So that's the story behind the reason on the agenda. I wanted you all to know that, it's not on the agenda to try and push anything through. I'll tell you that I'm extremely excited to know that many of you actually look at this when it's sent out there. That's exciting. Because you showed up and you called and you had concerns and you voiced those concerns. And like I explained to Mr. Clement's wife, please show up at the meeting to speak to your council members. That's what y'all are who they want to hear from. The people are who these council members want to hear from. They want to hear from me. They hear from me all day. They want to hear from you all. And if it comes from you all, it means more than if it comes from me. So thank you all for coming and speaking your opinions on this matter. And thank you again for looking at this when it's put out there. You need to speak some more? Come on up. Push that green. Don't push it. It's already on.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Stanley Poulard. My brother Dwight was just up here. He called me earlier today and told me that this item was on the agenda. I had no way of knowing. I don't keep up that much with politics, period. As he said, Reverend Proctor and Sister Proctor have given a lot of service to Crowley. I am a reinserted in Crowley. I came back to Crowley 11 years ago. I was gone for 46 years. Born and raised 3 blocks from that park. When I heard that that park had been renamed Martin Luther King Jr. Park, it was a shock to me. Why? I don't know how many of you all were born and raised in Crowley. I'm 77 years old. I went through a lot of changes in Crowley. I grew up in Jim Crow area, Jim Crow period. I saw a lot of changes come as I grew up. The day that they took the first scoop of dirt out of the ground in West Crowley for our swimming pool, I was there. Why? We couldn't go to the white swimming pool. You know where that white swimming pool was? Martin Luther King Park. We couldn't go, it's 3 blocks from my house, and I couldn't go to the swimming pool. When they renamed that MLK, I said, okay, that is a banner to progress. To remove that name, Reverend Proctor is a great man. I have seen some of the things that he has done. I don't have a personal relationship with him, but I admire him. He grew up on the same stuff we grew up on right there with Charles. So we've had a small conversation, so I know. But as my brother said, there must be some other way that we can honor his service and her service to this city than to take the name MLK off of that park. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Byron?
Is there any more discussion? Oh, Bishop.
Have to press the green button. It's already on.
It's already on. You good?
Honorable Mayor and members of the council, ladies and gents, and to all of the constituents of Crowley, I would like to emphasize the fact that I too admire Dr. King, Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. As a matter of fact, I worked with him. My wife worked with him in Chicago. We were in the marches with him. We're not trying to remove his name. He's an icon for us. We definitely would not try to remove his name from the park. As a matter of fact, when we named it Martin Luther King, I'm the one that gave the speech stating the purpose for putting that park and naming it Martin Luther King. Dr. Grady Poulard introduced the man who was aide to Martin Luther King, that he might come up and give the speech. A personal friend of mine from Shreveport, of course he's deceased now. But I say to you that we were not attempting to remove the Martin Luther King name from the park. At the same time, I would like to say to the African American area, historical area, it's not trying to ignore you or anybody in that area. I was always told that if you want something, ask for it. I was also taught if you ask, it shall be given. If you seek, you might find it. And if you knock on the door, it might be open to you. There's no way we could discover anything until we came forth with a request. The purpose for asking for that, I would like to do something to help beautify that park even more. My purpose is not to bring glory to me, but I certainly would like something to be left behind when I depart from this city. Go on my way to heaven, I hope. I say to you that this particular desire to beautify the area is something that Dr. Izora Proctor and I have talked about. I'm willing to invest money to make this happen, and I want it to happen. But if I put the money in, I certainly want something to be left behind that will let it be known that James Proctor and Izora Proctor did this. And that's the only reason why I put the request in to make the name change, not to take the name off, because he's an icon for me also. And I just ask that you would give consideration to that particular point, that I'm not here to demean or to take away. It's to improve what we have. And I thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you, Bishop. There's another speaker card for the ladies there? Topic. So, this was just a discussion item?
No, it's an action item. If someone wants to either say yes or no, or if you want to table it and do some more research on it, come up with some different ideas, there's multiple options, but it is an action item.
Chair, I've got some additional questions I'd like to have. We don't have all the information, of course, but that's the first time I see of this. And I certainly agree that both Bishop Proctor as well as Dr. Izora Proctor both deserve much recognition for what they have provided here in the city of Crowley. But I would just like to get more information on what they would plan to do to the park. I also would like to know, as far as, does this require an ordinance change? Does this require a public hearing? What are the costs involved to do all this, as far as legal, publications, and so forth? So just some more information I'd like to.
You gonna make the motion and we just table it for, at this time?
Dr. Proctor would like to.
Mr. Byron.
Thank you so much, Mayor and City Council members, all of the great citizens of Crowley. Bishop Proctor, you keep saying, and his wife, my name will not be on there. Bishop Proctor's name will be on there. But of course, you know, I will be helping to improve that park and do whatever within the confines of the City of Crowley regulations. Our new City Recreation Department Director and I have been working on all the parks in Crowley. We, Bishop Proctor and I, have donated, purchased benches at the Martin Luther King Center. If anybody goes there, you know that. Hot step? Many benches. We have also put in other money. The recreation department had the kids were skating. Bishop and I put money into that, buying refreshments and doing whatever possible back to the park. This, we will work with the director of parks, Mr. Duyan, and we will invest money in that park because we want to upgrade it. How are we going to upgrade it at this time, I don't know. but I knew there needs to be some work done to that park. Also, in the past, for years, we've been kind of keeping up that park. We've taken pride in it. When I say keep it up, I mean, we don't go out there and cut grass, but there are other things that we do, pick up paper, make sure that it's clean and all kind of stuff, you know. So we know that there are some benches that need to be there where people can sit around, you know, and do things at the park. There are many things. So our plans are to get with the director of recreation and do some collaboration with him and see what, we have an idea what needs to be, but he's probably the specialist on it, not us. And then, of course, we will go forth in that mean. Never do we want to take over city property and just do whatever we want with the property. We have integrity, and we never want to do that. Thank you so much for asking those questions.
Thank you, Dr. Proctor.
I'd like to say something. For the first 9 years of my life, I grew up in West Crowley. Most people don't know that. I swam in that swimming pool. And I remember there was an event there, and it brought back great memories. And Dr. Proctor and Bishop Proctor, our sons grew up together. Dr. Proctor graduated, and I graduated, and we start our careers as businesswomen and as doctorates in our profession. And they are an inspiration. While we give humble homage to Martin Luther King, Bishop Proctor has done a lot. Other people have also, as the mayor said. Has there been any consideration, rather than changing the name of the park, to acknowledging Bishop Proctor through a monolith, a bust, a bronze? Is there some other thing that we can come to a common ground, a compromise that says what we want to say? We want to honor people. We want to honor the people that we admire. We're part of that fabric. I'm part of that fabric. And I remember well, when we got the new swimming pool, you all got the swimming pool on 7th Street. And I missed it. But that's history. So what I'm saying is, what other compromise to honoring Bishop Proctor that may have been considered? Is there a consensus where you can get together and come up with something creative that speaks to that? I know in Levy Park, the monolith in the center of the park, once we moved from West Crowley, we moved to East Crowley. And we finished growing up as kids in that park. Then we added other elements to honor veterans that fought in the wars that we know. We didn't change the name of the park. So there are other great options that we can all stay friends with. And I think we need to take a look at that and honor one another in that fashion. And that's what I needed to say.
Councilman Ashby, you had a question or something to say?
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Ash.
Well, first, I just want to thank y'all for all that y'all do for the city of Crowley. It's amazing. West Crowley would not be where it is if it wouldn't be for the things that y'all have done. I feel in my seat, I'm here to listen to constituents and for people to show up and voice their opinion about how they seen the first name of that park, what it meant to them, means a lot to me. That not that they disrespect anything that y'all have done, but that name for that park means something to them. That means something to me. I just want to see that we can figure out another way that we can honor Reverend Proctor. I mean, he's done a fantastic job, and I think we can find a way to do it. I will say that the last council made a huge mistake, and I'm going to use the term mistake even though I love this person, in changing the name of the Recreation Department to the Tony Robichaud Center. I hear so many people say that that was a total disrespect to all the other people that came before him that put so much time into those parks. And we overlooked all of them because someone passed. I don't want this to happen again. I don't want on my watch for us to change a name that people respect and love and honor. And all I hear is that council, I mean, they made a horrible decision to do that. I don't want to be put in that place. So for me, tabling this tonight and getting to hear everyone's opinion, because that's not people from East Crowley saying, I don't want the name of that park changed. That's people from the neighborhood saying it, which means a lot to me.
Go ahead, Ms. Proctor.
Thank you, Ms. Seitz, for sharing that with us. And thank you so much, Sandra, for also sharing it. I keep saying we are not changing the name. His name will still be there. We're not changing. I have great respect for Dr. King. I worked with Dr. King. I marched with Dr. King. I have great respect for him. By no means do I want to take away from him. So what we are doing, we're not taking away, we are adding to the quality of that park, in other words. That's what we're doing. Thank you.
This will be the last one, Council Martin.
First of all, I'm not on the committee, but I'm listening to both sides of this. And one thing I believe in is that you give due respect to those who deserve respect. And if one person that deserves respect through all sides of the city is Bishop Proctor. He has done more in this city than a lot of other people. But there's other people that, like Nelson Arsenault, okay? One of the things that I want to say this right here, and like I said, I'm not on the committee, but I have to say this. I don't want to see any division of love from anybody, okay? I don't want nobody to feel that there's animosity because one person did this and one person did that. One of the things that I'm looking into doing, for those of you who don't know, the houses in West Crowley, a lot of people call them the new houses. I don't know why, they've been there since 2006. The roads that's on there, y'all, I don't know if y'all remember, Jeff, I think you were here at the time. I stepped off the council to bring those houses here. A lot of people didn't know that. Okay, right, okay. I don't go around bragging on whatever. The only reminiscent thing that's out there is one street that I had named for my family, and that's Dejan Circle, okay? And it wasn't just for Mr. Emile Dejan, which was the matriarch of our family, but for the whole Dejan name, Preston Dejan, any Dejan. It's the biggest street out there. It's Dejan Circle. You can't pass through that subdivision without passing through Dejan Circle. A lot of people ask, who's Dejan? Well, there's a lot of them, okay? Now, in Rain, if you go through the subdivision in Rain, when you first get to Gateway Subdivision, the road that you pass on, Samuel Thomas, that's my father. And if you go to the other one, they have Martin Road, which is for me, my family. You know, I've decided to do something, and I don't know, maybe God has put this at this time. But I'm going to be letting this council know that I'm getting back into the construction side, or you want to call it contracts, whatever, developer side. And I'm planning on bringing something else here in Crowley, whether it be apartments or whatever. And the roads, and like I say, God works in mysterious ways. When I first saw this on the agenda, I'm like, okay. But one thing that will happen, and I'm hoping that we come together on this. Like I said, once again, I'm not on the committee, but I'm a voting member of this council. We have so many people that paved the way, just like the audience said about coming into Crowley, West Crowley, whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, I'll be remiss if I would try and think negative of one and positive of another, but I put everything in the same bowl, okay? Maybe it takes a public hearing. I don't know, okay? But one thing I can tell you, if there's any person that's deserving of dishonor, Bishop Proctor is, okay? And like I said, I don't know what the future going to bring. I don't know what's going to happen with this right here. But like I say, God has paved the road. The road is there. We just have to follow through, okay? You know, Psalm 46:10 say, "Be still and know that I am God." Well, that's what I live by. So I'm listening to what everybody got to say, and I'm hoping and praying that we come up with a solution here. And Ms. Marks, thank you for that input, because this is something that affects us all, okay? Martin Luther King has always been my hero, always been my hero. But Bishop Proctor is one of my heroes as well, you know? So whatever comes out of this, I'm just hoping and praying that we come to a solution and make it a resolution to where nobody's feelings get hurt, nobody put blame, nobody point fingers, nobody come up with, because this is something that's trying to better the city of Crowley. And you just heard them, and I can vouch for the fact that financially they put money into the city, okay? And one thing about Doc and the bishop, they don't have no problem asking. They don't have no problem. And if they don't get it, they do it themselves. Everybody to let's come up with a solution and a resolution to this where everybody's happy, okay? I don't want nothing jammed on anybody, and I don't want nothing taken away from anybody. But at the same time, we have to understand that in our black community, there's very few heroes that we look up to. That we can walk and, just say, well, yeah, that person had some type of direction in my life. You know, that person did this and that and the other. But I stand here today, and I just want to make sure that whatever decision we come up with and the resolution and the solution, that there's no animosity, okay? The only thing that they're trying to do is better the city, all right? I don't think they're trying to expunge anybody's name from anything. I'm looking at the caveat here where it's Martin Luther King's / Bishop James W. Proctor, Neighborhood Park, West 7th Street. And like I said, we have some other heroes. You know, Nelson Arsenal was one of my heroes. When I stepped off the council, I asked the council to seat him in, you know. Yeah, so that's another person that's down the line. Houses or whatever to the city of Crowley, the roads, I promise you, I'll make sure that they're remembered. But right now we have something in front of us that we need to take care of. And like I said, I think if all groups get together and find a solution to it, you know, and I use the term solution and resolution, Because one way or the other, this is going to get resolved. It's going to be resolved, okay? And
We ain't having no more discussion on this here. Is Ms. Byers up next, or whoever they got to talk on this subject,
You need,
Bishop?
you need a motion, or you wanna
Brad made the
table
motion
it?
to table it.
Byron, did you enter the motion? I think I seconded, and then we went to discussion.
I like to make a motion to table it right
Okay.
this time.
All right. Okay, moving on. You can go to number 2, Mr. Byron.
You need to
Ms.
vote on the motion.
You had something to say, Ms.?
It's on a different topic. Yes.
Go ahead, Bishop. This is the last final word with this.
What I wanted to say to the council, we put it in for your consideration. And if you did not make a decision, it's not going to stop us from working in our community. This is our community.
Thank you.
And we're going to work. But we put the request in because it's something we desire to have. Thank you.
Thank you, Bishop.
Thank you, Bishop. Thank you. All right, Mr. Byron, you can go to number 2.
We gotta go by it.
No. No. You don't need to vote. You just go.
We don't need a vote.
Action item number 2, to approve the construction plan and specification for the park and pavilion in downtown Crowley project, and authorize the advertisement for bids contingent upon reviewing by the Louisiana Office of Facility Planning and Control. This is
Mr. Lewis Sabb is here, the architect on the Lewis Sabb. Mr. Lewis Sabb and Mr. Lewis Sabb Jr. is here.
Yes, I have my business development manager with us as well, my father. So again, good evening. And as it was stated, we're here to submit the construction documents for the Park and Pavilion project. We had come during May with the design development set. We heard from the council. We took in all those considerations. We've improved the projects, expanded upon them, fine-tuned the details of the project, and so now we're ready to submit. We have submitted them to the fire marshal and to FP&C, as well as the city for consideration and approval of the permit. We landed on the pavilion being in the base bid, as well as all the site improvements to the project. We've staggered out certain components of it to just give us the best opportunity to actually fulfill the project and actually go to construction. We have the lawn amenities that we had described before in one alternate, and then the water feature in a second alternate. Let's see, the duration of the project, we landed on 9 months. We took into consideration some of the electrical components, and we just wanted to ensure that we had a very competitive bid. The schedule, again, we're presenting today. We hope for next meeting on the 20th that you'll approve these drawings so that we can go out to bid. We'll advertise with the Crowley Post Signal, and then we'll start the pre-bid conference in September, and we hope by October 1st we'll accept bids. Again, with that 9-month time frame, you know, and again, there's always going to be some potential change orders or extensions for rain delays, but again, we do hope that we can provide the project to you guys by September of the following year. Any questions?
Potential start date?
You know, if the contracts are signed, again, bids are accepted on October 1st. We'll present to you guys on the 15th for approval. So anytime between the 15th and the end of the year, we would have contracts signed.
He does have a copy of the plans that will be available for you to look at over the next week. That's why I wanted him here tonight, for you all to be able to have the week to look at them if you want to come by City Hall. If you want to take them home overnight or something and sleep on it. There's a lot of information in there that won't mean a whole lot of nothing, but it's basically the same thing that he presented at the beginning. We did make a few little changes, took away some landscaping and added a little bit of concrete on the south side of the actual pavilion area. So we were talking about pickleball earlier. I asked him about pickleball and cornhole, and I think we can fit 12 pickleball courts under the pavilion.
Correct.
And 18 or 20 cornhole courts under the pavilion. So there's a lot of opportunities to attract people and have our citizens have things to do, not just concerts and things of that sort. But there's a lot of activities that'll be able to have potential there in this deal. I'll tell you that the water feature has moved to the third option, mostly because of cost. I don't know that we'll be able to keep the cost where we need it with the water feature there. So
It is about $200,000 just for construction costs.
Yes.
Yeah, my dentist told me, boy, quit talking and heal. But apparently this ain't the day. So you took it upon yourself to eliminate the water park, correct? Yes or no? Just a yes or no?
No.
Okay, well.
That's not what I said. I did
Well,
not eliminate.
I'm asking the question.
I'm gonna tell you again. The water feature was moved to the third option, mostly because of cost, but some of it is because you don't want it there. So I figured, why not move it to the third option and not have it there at all?
Mayor, okay, you just made a statement that's, and I don't know why you made it, but it's a damn lie. You never one time heard me say I didn't want it there. What I said was I wanted to make it free to the kids. That's what I said, okay?
At all times that you said you did not, that was not the place for it. It needs to be in a park in the open.
No. I mean, now it's time to go back to the videos.
We'll go back to the videos.
Okay.
We're not going to argue in here about it.
No, I mean, I'm not going to argue with you, period.
Yeah.
Okay, right now, Byron, I have the floor, correct? Thank you. Okay. My statement was very simple, that we discussed having a water park, okay? You go right there to rain. I mean, and I'm just using rain as an example because I was one of the first ones to talk about doing a pavilion over here back years ago. Jeff, I believe you was on council at the time. And all we wanted was a pavilion, not a Taj Mahal, okay? Now, we had talked about doing something. A little town like Church Point got a splash pad. I don't know if I don't know if Jennings got one. I know Abbeville has one. I don't know if Kaplan has. I'm just talking about surrounding towns. I made the statement that the splash pad would be free at all times. And if you incorporate it inside of that pavilion, it'll take away from the kids. That's what I said. And if you do that, that would eliminate the kids using it, whether it's Monday through Monday or Sunday through Sunday, for the simple reason, if someone would rent that pavilion, all of a sudden, they control the gate.
So
That's
it's not a good place for it, right?
Yeah. There was no alternate place that was given to us for the splash pad. No other place. That was the only place that was talked about was that area right there. No other solution was given or any type debatable place. I had mentioned across the Wells Fargo, well, they do the, well, okay, all right. But that was the only place. And the good thing about it, the videos don't lie. Now, everybody here knew or knows what I said. And not one time did I say, nope, I don't want it there. The only thing that I made clear was that I wanted where the kids can have 20, whether it's not 24-hour access to it. If the park's open from 8 to 8, free of charge, okay? Now, you might assume that I didn't want it there, but assume starts with a few letters, you know, and it is what it is. Mayor, the money that was given for this park or this pavilion was supposed to be in a covered area with fencing around it, similar terrain. I mean, I base everything on rain. All of a sudden, we get catered landscapes, bricks, contoured entrance. And before you know it, the money's gone. And then all of a sudden, the city have to put up with another 100, 200,000, 300,000. Okay? So it went from a couple of 1 point some million to almost 2 million or whatever it may be.
Close to 2.2.
$2.2 million. And all we wanted was a pavilion and a splash pad. Okay? I never once said that I did not want it there. I said I did not want it to become in an area where if the kids decide to go and cool off, they wouldn't be turned around at the gate, because that's what would happen. I know if I rent the pavilion, I control the gate, okay? Now, one thing I did bring up, and I remember it like it was yesterday, is that we separate the entrance gate from the splash pad. In other words, put the entrance to the pavilion behind the splash pad, okay? Leaving that area open for the kids. That's what I was talking about. I never one time said I didn't want it there, because there was no other place that was brought up or mentioned where we could or could not have it. I mean, listen, man, this money, see, the city of Crowley have problems, okay? We want to be Lafayette, we want to be Baton Rouge. Can't be Lafayette and Baton Rouge. We don't have the tax base for it. When Congressman Stefanski got this money, I remember talking to him.
Representative Stefanski?
Well,
yes, sir.
well, as far as I'm concerned, they're all congressmen, representatives, whatever name you want to put it. But out of Baton Rouge, the money came out of Baton Rouge, okay? And he made it enough. He allocated enough. He asked for enough to make sure that we had be able to have a turnkey job, okay? Well, with all due respect to everything that was put into this place, I'm sure to show it's going to be fantastic. And I'm hoping for the best. But if I don't fight for the kids, and it's my job right here, it's everybody's job to fight for your constituents, okay? I'm fighting for the kids. They sitting out there, no swimming pool, no, at one time I remember the fire department when they used to clean the hoses or wash out the hoses, not the fire department, but LAWCO, kids would gather around just to cool off. And I thought that this city was coming into another generation where we took away the pools. There's no more pools, okay? This would have been something where, I mean, to us it's not a big deal, but to kids it's a big deal. You know, they want to go cool off. They don't care where they go, they just want to go cool off. So that's where I stand with it. I'm all for all your designs and everything that you put. Only thing I'm asking, let's separate the money-making aspects of it. You follow what I'm saying? And let it be something where, just like we have an open area to go walk around at Mobley Field, Hell, as far as I'm concerned, you put the splash pad in Mobley Field. You know, it doesn't matter where you put it at.
Sure.
But I don't want it to be in an area where if someone rents the pavilion, that it takes away the freedom of the kids going have a good time. That's all I'm asking.
Sure.
So, Mayor, and I want to make sure that I'll make it clear to everybody. I never said that I didn't want it there. Okay? What I said was that I wanted it to be where the kids wouldn't have no type of hindrance from going to have a good time, going to cool off, and without someone telling them, I'm sorry, you can't come here today because we're having a car show or whatever it may be. So that means you can't come into the pavilion unless you pay. And even if you pay, there's still no splash pad. Or even to the point of someone renting the pavilion and using the splash pad for their private means. I know I talked a lot, but I just had to get that out. Thank you.
Chair, with all due respect to Alderman Martin's points, which I think a lot of this can be discussed next week, but we need to get this on the agenda or take action on this matter to move it to the full council for consideration. And at this time, I'd like to make a motion to approve item number 2 for consideration by the full council.
It was offered by Brad, second by Mr. Dillery.
Aye.
Great, thank you.
Mayor, you got anything to say? They up on this or something?
Yes, so there is some, the Deltas would like to speak in reference to the Martin Luther King building. I did get their email after the agenda went out, so that's why it's not on the agenda as a discussion item. Let's see. Okay, they want, if y'all want to come up. We'll go ahead and let you all do it in this committee, so y'all can get going if you wish. The voter education rally would normally go in community economic development, but we'll let you discuss that now.
All together.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Good evening. I am Vicki Bides Milson, Second Vice President of Crowley Alumni Chapter. We have Christy Rose Johnson, Contessa Solomon, and Sharonetta Brooks are also members of our sorority. You just spoke about the email that you got. We wanted to know, if possible, and we did hear some of it earlier, an update on the Martin Luther King progress, the renovations, and what was going on there.
Yes, ma'am.
So I know we heard some earlier, but that was one of our concerns.
Yes, ma'am.
And then we also wanted to know about the progress of the blight issue that we spoke about last meeting, the last city council meeting. So we wanted updates on those two things, if you can share some information with us before we go into the vote.
Sure.
Activity.
The the Martin Luther King Center. Again, the air conditioner. I'm begging, but the air conditioner. I talked to him yesterday actually, and he said this week they will begin to pull out the old to install the new. I am waiting on contractors to close off the windows to stop the leaking in the windows. It's a brutal process, but I'm in the process of doing that. I was able to get some prices from electricians, and we did get the lighting inside the office area, the entryway, game room, all of the lighting, with all of the lighting except what's in the gym area, because that lighting is good. And the stage is going to have updated lighting also. But all of that stuff's going to be LED lighting. Most of it has been done. So it should be just about finished. Once I know what monies we've spent on that stuff, we're also gonna put some awnings on the doors, the walk-through doors that go out on the south side and the west side of the building to stop the rain from coming into those doors. Once I know where we're at on spending, once we get that process done, then I'll know what money I have left, and we'll be able to move forward with more updates and maybe some painting and things of that sort to go on also. I want to make sure that the structure is ready to accept the interior upgrades, because as long as it's leaking, it's not, we're going about it the wrong way. The blight, we, believe it or not, are doing a lot of work. It takes time. I have been working with Mr. Landry. We actually have a meeting, is it tomorrow? Or I think tomorrow or Thursday. Tomorrow we have a meeting with an attorney, a local attorney, that we're going to work on naming him as and I don't know the proper name, the blight court judge, whatever the proper name is. The city, previous administration set ordinance to be able to have that process. I was trying to go without that process so that the council members and myself could make those decisions, and it just isn't working as quickly as I'd like it to. So we're going to go to that process and make that happen. That should progress the process along. We still have the same details that have to be followed, and it is, believe me, it's a terrible situation. We do have, I think, 3 properties that are in line. We've got quotes. We had to get 3 quotes from 3 contractors for 3 different homes. We brought them, each one, whenever they had time, come to City Hall. Tony would bring them out, show them the properties that need to be demolished. A few days later, they'd send in their quotes. When the next one, bring them out, show them the properties. A few days later, we got that done. Now we have to send another letter to these property owners saying, we're going to take action at this point, on this day, whatever. So that letter has to go out. We have to make sure certified letter, the whole 9 yards. It is a very long process. I know, believe me, it looks like there's nothing happening. It takes a long time to get that train rolling. I'll tell you that I was a fool when I got into this office. I was a fool when I was running for this office because I thought I was going to go quicker than this with cleaning up these properties. It ain't happening that quick, unfortunately. I actually met yesterday with a gentleman that has a software specifically for tall grass that I'm getting a quote on. I met today on a Zoom call with another software company for code enforcement, which includes tall grass, licensing, permits, all of that included in one. I'm getting a quote on that. I'm trying to find ways to streamline the process as much as possible. It doesn't mean that we can bypass the laws that we are required to follow, unfortunately, but if we can streamline the process in the office, then we can get to those specific points quicker. I assure you that we are certainly working on it, and I will apologize. There's nothing I can do about it, but I'll apologize that it is taking quite some time to do it. I was hopeful that by now we would have 100 houses torn down, demolished, and we don't. We're nowhere near that. We're nowhere close to that. So I was a fool thinking that I could get in here and make it happen really quick. But I'll tell you, no one wants it to happen more than me. I don't live next to them, okay? I don't live next to the blighted properties. I don't have a blighted property next to me. But I promise you, no one, including those people that live next to those properties, want it to happen more than me. That's what I promised to do, and I'll be damned if I'm gonna break my promise.
Well, we thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council, and we appreciate what you have done thus far. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you all. Thank you all for being here.
We have one more little tidbit
Sure.
here.
Good evening, Mayor and council members and the residents of Crowley. I'm Contessa, and I'm here on behalf of Delta Sigma Theta sorority. We are excited to invite you all to partake in an inspiring and inclusive event aimed to empowering the next generation of voters. On Saturday, August 24, 2024, the Crowley Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta will host Your Vote, Your Voice Education Rally, a non-partisan innovative design to engage and energize young voters aged 17 to 25. This will take place on, again, the 24th from 2 to 5 at the Martin Luther King Center here in Crowley. This event will provide an open platform for young people to learn about the importance of their vote and how their voice can shape the future. As Nelson Mandela once said, youth is the most powerful force on earth. It can create change and be the voice for the future. We believe by bringing the community leaders together, organizations, and young voters, we can foster a greater sense of civic responsibility and engagement. We will be honored to have you join us as community partners to support this cause. Your presence will demonstrate a unified commitment to nurturing the voices of our young generation. Please let us know if you can attend or if there are any other ways that you contribute to making this event a success, and we look forward to seeing you all. It's on August 24th.
Can you say that each of the council members gets that through our email?
Yes.
You can send that out.
Tessa,
Okay.
Tessa
Thank you
will
so
send
much.
that calendar invite out to everyone.
Thank
Yes.
you so much.
Thank you.
Let me ask a question. Vicky? Let me ask, was there anything done across from your mom's house?
With the property?
No.
No, sir. Mr. Duha informed us that the property is now in possession of the tax assessor or the police jury or whoever.
It's adjudicated by the police jury?
He informed us about that. So
Okay.
we need to know what step do we take next, so.
Okay.
I was gonna speak to you about.
So if it's
Okay.
adjudicated by the police jury, we do have some properties that we sent notice to the police jury to cut the grass. I did notice after the last meeting, I went right out there the next day, and the grass had been cut in reference to that property. But the one that I got to pick the video of, I know that the police jury has multiple properties in the city that's been adjudicated through the tax sale, and they struggle just like the city does with keeping up grass when it grows quickly.
Okay, well, that.
Okay, just hang on, okay.
Okay.
Byron,
Ma'am-
if I may.
Ma'am, if you have the property, if your mother has the property that's adjacent to that property that's adjudicated to the city, there may be a process where, and y'all may not want to do this, but if y'all were to clean it up and maintain it,
She's
y'all
not
could.
adjacent.
Okay, she's not adjacent.
It's across the
Okay.
street.
It's across the street.
Okay. Byron,
Thank you.
all right. Now, thank y'all. Look, it's been 30 days, and the grass grew for another 30 days. Okay? Another 30 days. And I hate to put cities on the spot, but I'm going to do it again. Right there in Jennings. They go cut the grass and do what they got to do afterwards. Right there in Rain. Go cut the grass, do what the hell they got to do afterwards. Church Point, go cut the grass, do what the hell they got to do afterwards. Man, I'm just so sick and tired of being sick and tired with this, because I go back, I've been on this council for a minute, okay? I done been to seminars, after seminars, I done talked to different cities, workshop, round tables, or what have you, and always the same thing. Sometimes the city has to take the ball and run with it, okay? And quit worrying about whether we're going to get sued or what have you, because at the end of the day, this is a public safety deal. Everybody agree with that? This is public safety. So for another month, the grass is going to grow. I understand going tear down a house. There's a big difference between tearing down a house and cutting grass. A big difference, okay? You admitted yourself you stopped the process of the demolitions because you thought that there would be a grant to help people along taking down the houses. An honorable thing. But at the same token, the grass still growing, okay? I get tired of being stopped. Man, what y'all gonna do about the grass, okay? The grass is still the same. Well, I'll go back, I don't know if it was last administration, we had a situation where the grass made the news. I don't know if it was Danford or whomever it might have been. And it was right on the side of Northgate Apartments. They showed that thing on TV the next day the grass was cut. You understand? You tell me what's the difference, what's happening over there and what's happening, and I'm going to use the term not in our section, but in West and South, North and East Crowley. Tell me what's the difference. You made a statement that if we do it, it'll bankrupt the city. I disagree 100%. Matter of fact, I disagree 1,000%. Anytime we do anything on anybody's adjudicated property, whether it's adjudicated by the city, by the parish or whoever, or it's just, it goes on the tax lien. It may not be us that collect it, but somebody will. But at the same time, you got rodents, you got snakes, you got all these different vermins running up and down people's yards. The other day, I had a lady call, and she said she wanted to thank me for the city went out and cut the grass. Okay, that was the third time. Okay, third time. We need to be proactive here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm all for, well, we got to go by the books. Well, the book said that we have to protect our citizens because they pay their taxes for that. Okay? Ain't nobody living in no domicile in the city of Crowley not paying taxes. I don't care who you are. You're going to pay taxes. Whether it's for the graveyard or for the bridges, ditches, whatever it may be. All right? You know, let's quit hiding behind the broom over here. It's time for us to get in front of the broom. Let's sweep all this mess out of the way. Because, you know, at least, and I say it again, if I would have made the news, if my property would have made the news, I would have made sure that that property was taken care of. They had a very informative video there, and I want to thank the ladies again for sending that out. It was very informative. I wish we could have showed it here or what have you, but for whatever reason, it is what it is. Look, I'm not trying to talk down the city. I'm trying to talk up what the hell we need to do. Okay? It looks bad on the city of Crowley. You know, Jasmine Dean, I saw her the other day, and she just put her head down. Okay? She was over here in Crowley with the blight. You know, she called me. I said, I have nothing to say. Same thing as it was before. It's time to get away from not accepting our responsibilities. Okay? Well, you made a statement. Well, Mayor, you said you were crazy for taking a job. Well, guess what?
No.
It is. I'm sorry?
I didn't say I was crazy for taking a job. I said I was a fool to think that it would be
Well,
quicker to make happen.
Go back. You said, well, whatever. Okay, if that's what you said. Because you and I, we have a different of hearing.
Excuse me, could we call a point of order?
The point of order is that I'm still here.
We need to call
The point of order, lady, if you just left from the element, you didn't learn anything?
So
Excuse
I need
Okay.
Mr. Byron, if I can say something real quick, and then we can move on. Mr. Martin, I appreciate your many years of service and all the conferences you've attended and all of the workshops that you've attended over the years. But for the past 2 years, I have not seen you in one workshop. And so the rules may have changed since then. And the other cities that I talked to and these other council members that I've seen in these workshops over the past 2 years have heard from the other cities also. And you can't just do what you want to do. And we have a responsibility, like you said, to protect our city. But we also have a responsibility to be responsible for the monies. And if we go and just start cutting people's properties, however we want to do it, whether we send letters out or not, we can't do that. That's not being responsible. So the next LMA event, if you want to attend the workshops with the rest of us and learn what's going on today and not 6-8 years ago, You're welcome to do so. But in those workshops that you're talking about that you used to attend, they tell us completely different from what you're telling us here.
Point of order, because he just, first of all, let me explain something to you. The reason why I haven't been traveling because of my condition with my back.
No, you traveled, but you didn't attend the workshops.
Wait, do
You
what?
were there, but you did not attend the workshops with the rest of us. You were
You
at
don't
there.
know where
We
I'll
rented-
be at.
Not in the workshops.
You understand? First of all, and I take offense to the fact, I go to the workshop that I need to go
I've
to.
taken a lot of offense over the
Okay.
tonight.
Okay.
So
Well, whether
we're
you do it, I go to the workshops that I need to go to. If I already know it, why go to it?
You must not know it.
Oh, I tell you
There
what.
was no further business coming before public buildings, so we recess.
Insurance and personnel, Alderwoman
Mayor,
Marks.
at this time, I'd like to defer my time to Community and Economic Development, as they have to attend a wake
Sure.
in Lafayette.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So the Community and Economic Development Committee will come to order. There is a quorum. Alderman Sammy Reggie is not present, but everyone else is. So just some brief things from the Tourism Director. The Miss Crowley pageant will be held on Saturday, August 17th at the Grand Opera House of the South. From Crowley Main Street, is my mic working? Okay. Christmas in Crowley will be held on Saturday, December 14th, with special things planned by Main Street businesses. In addition, Crowley Main Street will partner with the Crowley Rotary Club and the Crowley Fire Department to host the annual Christmas parade on the same day at 6 p.m. This is the first year that they'll put those together, and we'll see how that works. From the Acadia Parish Chamber of Commerce, the Crowley Town Club will celebrate 70 years with a ribbon cutting at the club on Thursday, August 22nd at 5:30 p.m. September 6th, Women in Leadership will be held at the Grand Opera House of the South. Doors open at 9 a.m. The program will begin at 9:30. September 10th is grand opening for Crowley Therapy Group at 5:30 p.m., which, Mayor, is a council meeting on that day at 5:30. Crowley Garden Club has nothing to report during the summer months. The West Crowley Beautification Committee, Dr. Izora Proctor, reported that they have completed the planting of rose bushes on West Hutchison Avenue, and they're now trying to keep them alive by watering them often in this hot weather. Thank you for that. There are some additional plans for West Hutchison that will be unfolding soon. And from the West Crowley Historic Cultural District Committee, Mr. Clemma reports that they were involved with planting the flowers down West Hutchison Avenue. And kudos to all of the volunteers who are helping to beautify our city. Thank you very much. Is there any other business or anything that should be discussed during this committee? With that, the committee will recess, and please excuse me as I run out the door.
Thank you, ma'am. Insurance and personnel, Alderwoman
Insurance and
Marks.
Personnel Committee will come to order. We have a quorum, and I want to thank everybody for coming to the health fair on the 6th and 7th in a timely fashion. It was very successful. The action item that we need is to approve the record retention schedule, which you have in your packets, and this is a matter of an administrative housekeeping item. The record retention policy is required by the Secretary of State. Our policy, prior policy, has expired. This policy or schedule specifies how long the city must maintain certain types of records before they can be destroyed. A copy of the proposed policy is included in your packets. Each type document has its own retention span. Some documents are permanent, like minutes, ordinances, and resolutions, while others only need to be retained for a year. The policy will help clear up some older files and storage of new documents. Once approved by the council, it will have to be sent to the Secretary of State for final approval. If any of the suggested retention times are not long enough, they will update the policy and let the city know what changes need to be made before final approval. So at this time, I move that we approve the record retention schedule for consideration on our next council meeting. Second. All in favor? And is there any further discussion to come before the Insurance and Personnel? If not, we adjourn.
Thank you, ma'am. Let's see, Revenue and Finance, Alderman Lochley.
Thank you, Mayor. The Revenue Finance Committee convenes. We have a quorum present. We have no reports to read out, no action items, and no discussion items. Any comments to be made? There be no more business, the committee recess.
And that's it.